Good evening, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ZSR1 and welcome to another stream. Very busy day, but also very cool runs and very cool races today. And tonight we're going for the Link to the Past No Major Glitches League 2022. And it's a match from the Dark World and it's BambooShadow versus relkin. Without further ado, because we are about ready to get going, let's switch it over and let's hand it to Clear Mouse and to Matt7898. Take it away.
Yeah, all right. What's up, everybody? So this is a real interesting race. We've got obviously everybody in this Dark World bracket is very skilled, 125 runners, guys with PBs relatively close together. Should be like a very close, interesting race, and looks like we're about to get started. Clear Mouse, how's it going?
Yo, Matt, I'm doing great. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, as you said, right? So these are very, very talented 125 runners, and they're PBs. So relkin, according to Speedrun.com, he has a 125.16, ranked actually number 30. Bamboo also on the leaderboard, 10 places apart, number 40 with a PB of 125.43. So yeah, less than 30 seconds apart, which means that these racers are actually pretty even. In terms of just like execution skill level, so we're definitely in for a very, very good race.
Yeah, I know relkin has been grinding quite a bit, I think, although it's a bit on and off. I see him around. He's really trying to get a 124, I believe. BambooShadow, I do see running the weekly sometimes. Obviously, you don't have to stream all of your NMG runs, so who knows what everybody's doing potentially offline, but I see him in a weekly every now and then. I'm not exactly sure how much he's playing, but it'll be super interesting to see exactly how he plays, because I'm not quite as familiar with his playstyle.
Yeah, this is going to be the best part. You know, even though like their PBs are relatively close apart, they certainly could still do a lot of different little things, right? Like here and there. Certainly, you still need to be very tight on your execution, but a lot of let's say in this case runner's preference, right, or style, or what they're comfortable with. We're definitely going to kind of like see that shine. Hopefully, yeah, as you mentioned, relkin certainly has been at least like very, I guess, more publicly active, right? Joining a lot of weeklies, streaming a lot. His 124 attempts. Certainly something that you might be, more familiar with yourself, Matt, getting your own 124 relatively soon, relatively recently. So certainly, relkin is kind of experiencing that same grind.
Yeah, and so I guess just a bit of background on the NMG League. So this is just how it works is there's going to be basically a short kind of 4-week Swiss format. There's 2 different divisions. There's the Dark World division with the 16 runners with the fastest PBs, and the Light World division with the next 16 runners. And so this is kind of, it's a really great thing. I think that's happened. It's nice to have like a little bit of friendly competition in the NMG speedrun, so we can kind of encourage more people to run the categories. Some people may see these streams and maybe they have a PB where like, oh, you know what, I'm pretty close to being able to bump some of these Light World Division runners, and maybe it'll give them something to strive for. And some of those guys in the 127, 126 range, they can really have a bit more of an incentive to kind of grind down that PB to try and make a name for themselves in this competition. And it's like it's not super serious. It's not like some long drawn out tournament. It's just like a fun way for all of us to kind of
I love
get
fun
together and race. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, actually, and actually kind of like a newer, fresher, I guess, like twist with this NMG races or NMG League is that we're actually racing, right? Like, so I mean, like, there's something like a really nice community weekly that goes on, right? Kind of everyone, is allowed to be able to like, hop in voice. It's kind of like a good time running. One-on-one races, actually, the league is bringing back is actually somewhat of a different, flavor in this case, because especially when you're trying to grind down PBs, right? Kind of depending on how reset friendly you are, maybe you get hit by Green Garden Escape, and then you're just like, well, all right, so runs over. I'm going to start again. In a race, it's actually a little bit different, right? Maybe you're actually going to opt to take a couple safer strats. Maybe you're not going to go for necessarily as the high risk, low reward type of strats. It'll save you 20 frames here and there. Maybe because you are also allowed to, in this case, I'll watch your opponent's stream. You want to watch the restream. Maybe try and gauge what you want to do based on where your opponent is and where you are in the race.
Yeah, racing NMG is a different beast than doing RTA attempts, and it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this shakes out. So we have gotten started here, so obviously first we need to get through the escape sequence. So really the critical things here is just don't lose too much time, just try and make sure you have clean movement, enjoy your, 6 minutes or less of warm-up that you have, and kind of get yourself ready for the rest of the run. Both these guys obviously going to be super familiar with the escape sequence, and there's a couple of kind of critical moments. Obviously, Relkin getting a little bit of bad RNG in that.
Pay attention. Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. Like I said, don't lose to a time, but also do not get tilted early. This is the first couple minutes of a 1 hour, in this case 25-ish minute run. No reason to unnecessarily burden yourself with any
issues. You see if Relkin grabs this heart here. He is opting to grab the heart, so you wouldn't. That's something you wouldn't see, obviously, in an RTA attempt. He also got a bit of bad RNG in that first key guard. He got a quick aggro, which slows that room down a little bit, but it's still escape. Still not really a big deal at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, right. And you talk about, actually the escape sequence. So arguably, of course, this is probably one of the most frequently executed splits, just because, well, it's always the first one, and it's actually surprisingly difficult in order to do this series or sequence optimally. Right, you talk about trying not to lose too many time. Doing this casually, there are lots of probably like a very safe, conservative strats. Probably necessarily won't see it specifically here on like the ball and chain guard. I would expect probably both runners to. Oh, never mind. So it looks like Bamboo's actually going to do a one-pot strat, taking this is 4 hits for the pot with 4 slashes. Relkin gonna actually do kind of the 8 slash. But you actually see, in this case, like the pot was a little bit kind of slower execution. It's definitely a bit safer, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with one pot. You can.
Oh yeah. No,
it's for some people it's tough for them to beat the one pot with the 8 slash, especially in a tournament setting. It is a little bit safer. You're still spending a little bit less time with your face in front of that ball and chain guard, where he can take you out pretty quickly. He does a full heart of damage. He only got 3 hearts at this point, and so that kind of ball and chain sequence, that's the kind of most dangerous part of the escape sequence. So both runners kind of getting out of that alive, it's just like a small sigh of relief, and you can kind of start to relax a little bit.
It is the quote-unquote final boss of escape in this case, or it's actually like a real. I mean, it's only considered in this case like just a regular enemy, right? Even though at the beginning, we will only have 3 hearts, right? Doing 1 heart damage, especially if you didn't extra clink, didn't quite in this case, get your slashes in line. The ball and chain guard can take you actually quite quickly.
Yeah, so now we're doing a bit of backtracking. So there's a little bit of RNG in here, like the positions of these green guards can obviously hit you like they did on Relkin's side. It seems like every single guard is really out to get Relkin. And there's like the blue guard aggroed fast twice, and that guy is all over him twice.
I don't know.
A little bit of bad RNG on his side is going to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Relkin, I don't know, needs to figure out like how to not make the green guards angry or aggro them. I don't know. Bamboo seems to be just like getting out of the sequence pretty unscathed. Hasn't taken a single piece of damage yet.
Yeah, so now we gotta push this mantle aside. Really, deceptively difficult to do that well in that room. So now we gotta go through the back part of escape. So it's all about avoiding all the rats and snakes. Not the nicest pattern there for Bamboo, but he handled it quite well.
Oh my gosh,
mean pattern for Relkin. So Relkin's only on 1 heart. He still should be okay.
Right, so at least, there is some solace. Oh my gosh, Relkin! Never mind. Alright, okay, that's a slight setback on Relkin. That was actually so much bullying by the ropes and the bats and the rats. Like, it was quite a bit. But I mean, at least the good news is that, it's only a very, very minor time loss. And, all things considered, just because Relkin wasn't too far into the escape sequence, so it's only going to be backtracking, basically like a screen or 2.
Yeah, the game is nice. They give you that spawn point right back in front of the mantle, so you don't kind of have to go all the way back to the beginning. So Bamboo had decent RNG for the key rat. So the key rat coming up on Relkin's side is kind of the major piece of RNG. Although unfortunately for Relkin, he didn't get this small key, so he's got to backtrack to this as well. But certainly anything can happen in these races. He is not out of it yet, that's for sure. A 552 on Bamboo's side. That's quite a good.
Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, right. You mentioned earlier, like if you like really nice round numbers, sub 6 is always something kind of like to look for, especially on I would say like especially like starting out, sub 6 is a good goal. 550, usually is a pretty good target to hit, and of course I think the elite ones you probably have like a 548 maybe, something certainly quite good.
All right, so you see the Sanctuary Heart there getting grabbed on Bamboo side. That is kind of the first safety, quote-unquote, available in the run. I would expect both of these guys to take. I think Relkin takes it in his RTA attempts even. But at this level that these guys are at, it's kind of where you can start considering skipping it. But when you're doing a race where you can't reset, some people in this tournament are skipping it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're seeing a lot of people who even normally skip it are opting to pick it up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, again, this is kind of like a major difference between, in this case, doing RTA attempts, PB grinds versus a race, because, well, in a PB attempt, right, something goes terribly wrong, you always really just have that reset option. And here, resetting, while you still have the option, technically, right, is really not something that you're going to try to, because, well, resetting would mean losing basically like a ton of time.
Yeah, so now we're getting into the Eastern Palace split. This split is like very deceptively difficult. Getting really good times in Eastern Palace is extremely challenging. You don't see that many runners with like a really elite Eastern Palace gold. Again, a lot of the bootsless movement, these guys are pumping and trying to enter doors cleanly, and doing that well is extremely difficult.
I feel like that's the same thing in Escape as well. It's like, again, it's all like boostless movement and pumping and, well, clean movement. And it's like, I don't even know sometimes, like, you can just, like, see the split, and then suddenly you're like, you think things are gonna go okay, and then you come out with like a, I don't know, like a 558 or something, or.
Yeah, and so there's a few tricky rooms. This on Bamboo side being one of the first ones. So he's gonna move very carefully in that room and throw those spots in specific positions to prevent all of the stealth orbs from spawning. So he will kill 2 of them before they spawn, and that will count for the game as the room being cleared, when normally in a casual playthrough there's actually 4 skeletons that you need to kill. And so that will allow him to get through that room much faster.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, speaking of, in this case, boostless movement, so in this case, like stair pumping, we also just see it on, Bamboo side as well. Enter Eastern Palace, on, certainly, most frequently on Relkin side. If you actually do not pump on the stairs, you cannot actually beat the blue guard as he's kind of like walking towards you as you're trying to get into the Eastern Palace. So, certainly kind of like a really nice, quirk to be able to see.
You see Relkin executing the stealth spawn perfectly as well. You see him boom that magic
as well.
That's very minor, couple frames saved, because the magic refill is slower than the boomerang. Nice. Oh, okay. That's another benefit of Sanctuary Heart in that room. Okay. You see Bamboo doing the damage boost to get the Eastern Palace big key. Normally, you'd have to clear all the enemies in that room, but if you can damage boost off the enemy onto the switch, you can grab that big key and get out of there much faster.
It's significant times, especially if you play the game casually, right? In this case, you have to go kill all the enemies and then kind of maneuver around all the anti-fairies that disperse. It is quite a bit of time. Yeah, right. And actually, speaking of, in this case, like the Sanctuary Heart, right, you do actually take a little bit of a damage boost in order to get through there, just because anti-fairies also do 100 damage. Probably not the most commonly used case of Sank Heart. Certainly does not hurt to have. We are actually going to come up against the enemies right here at the Igors. Not necessarily the green ones, but the green ones and the red ones all do 100 damage. And especially want to do this real quickly, one false pixel move can certainly land you a ton of damage very quickly, and many a runner have died to either the single ready or the double readies coming up here.
Yeah, these 2 rooms that BambooShadow's in, like, these are kind of the key to a good Eastern Palace. Doing these rooms well is the hardest part. The Zelda game room, the double readies, not bad. Getting some nice drops there, like you said, the 20 rupees is very helpful, and getting a nice arrow drop. So now we're into the Armos fight. He's going to fire 5 arrows to the right and 13 arrows down. Looking pretty good so far. That was a very clean Armos kill on Bamboo side.
Yeah, also looks like he is trying to save a couple of extra frames, because you can apparently save frames by catching the pendant very low in this case.
All right, you can see Relkin going to the Zelda game room. Good RNG.
Finally, for once.
Yeah, exactly. Nice arrow drop on Relkin's side as well.
Yeah. Oh, he gets a 22? Man, alright,
the game takes. Now the game's starting to slowly give it back, maybe.
Yeah. So certainly, yeah, really nice to see both runners kind of even on drops. We are gonna we don't have to necessarily worry about money anymore, just because we are gonna have 20 rupees now in our pocket. Having that extra 1 arrow drop is not necessarily required, but really nice to have. It would be ideally if we had 2 arrow drops, but we'll definitely take the 1 as we go. Resource management for money, for bombs, and arrows are actually pretty meticulously planned out. For this one, so just having extra 1, yeah, just not
interesting strategy there on
yeah.
Bamboo's side.
I have never seen that spin speed.
You just picked up the best item in the game, which is the boots, and what those boots allow you to do is to go fast. And what you saw there is kind of the first minor glitch in the speedrun. So if you do a sword spin and press the A button on the frame after you release the B button, you will get put in what we call spin speed state, and if you touch stairs, you can have the speed of the boost movement without having to charge the dash. You can also move in any direction. The way Bamboo did that, I've actually never seen anybody else do before, and that was kind of cool. The way that Relkin's doing is kind of the traditional method to because holding your sword out slows down your movement, but if you do it on stairs, it doesn't. So it's technically faster what Relkin's doing to have his sword out movement on the stairs. But you got to do something to make sure you hitting the spin speed is more important than doing it super fast. So if what Bamboo does allows him to hit the spin speed better, and then all power to him.
Yeah. You've actually seen in this case, he actually tried to do a retry for the spin speed, and in this case, yeah, exactly. No downtime in this case in order to charge your dash, in order to move to different directions. We take the spin speed right out of the library, so we can basically move a little bit faster. Relkin looks like actually also doing a spin speed. No, we're just never mind. I'm just gonna dash into the library. Certainly not gonna be another option in order to do spin speed here, but sometimes it's not necessarily always worth it.
Yeah, I think Relkin normally does library spin speed, so that might be a change that he is doing because it's a tournament race.
It's a race.
Try and keep things a bit more consistent.
Yeah, right.
But like, also in Relkin's shoes, though, once you die and escape, kind of everything just goes out the window, and you just try and go fast.
Fair enough. Yeah, but I mean, right, and as you said, right, nailing the spin speed is probably in this case the most important. I believe in this case, we actually did see Bamboo retry 1 spin speed. But usually speaking, like if you kind of like failed the first time, it's just better off if you dash. So maybe Relkin is just just kind of give it up for a moment, and then just basically take a still relatively fast strat, but maybe not necessarily the most optimal. Talking about optimal movement, though, knowing where to dash across, lack of water in this case, tall grass. We do move a little bit slower if we ended up kind of dashing through those, so definitely good on both runners in order to try and avoid, in this case, the terrain.
Yeah, so now we're in Desert Palace. So Desert is our, I guess, second Light World dungeon, because third if you want to count Escape.
Yep.
So, like, the key to Desert Palace outside of the boss is to just use these newly acquired boots effectively. There's a lot of long dash lines, so things like maximizing your dashes is very critical. There's not that much combat. There is a bit of RNG. This cannonball room to get the big key is one of the biggest ones, so getting bad RNG on Bamboo's side, having to stop his dash, that costs you about a second, but it's not too big of a deal. Yeah,
and every single time in this case you kind of have to recharge up your dash. It is 30 frames, so right around a half a second, right? So like ideally, sometimes you can't control the RNG, but especially in this case you want to really try and talk about clean movement, right? Every time you have to kind of stop and readjust, it does actually cost a little bit of time. And while it may not seem like too big of a deal, like off and on, those things can add up over the course of a run.
Yeah, and so now we are getting the power gloves that will allow us to lift up the rocks to get in the back of Desert, where we will fight the Landmo. So the boss of Desert, Landmo is probably not going to kill you, but it can kill your run in terms of costing you a lot of time. Probably the most challenging boss in this game to execute well. I think Ega 2 has an argument there as well, but super difficult. You got to put thousands of hours into it to get really good at Landmo.
For sure, right. And so, like, right, I kind of as we watch kind of like the progression of light world bosses, even starting if you want to consider the ball and chain, a lot of it is going to be starting out is going to be very less RNG to kind of like more RNG, right? Armos Knights, ball and chain, fairly, I would say, quote unquote, pretty much scripted, right? There are lots of like good strats in order to try and take them down very quickly. And most, when they first appear, the first pattern, the first cycle is technically fixed, just a lot of different options to choose from, in this case for RNG, but everything else kind of after that, you are going to have to react, and in order to use the bow effectively, certainly does take quite a bit of practice. Timing certainly would require lots of attention to detail.
Yeah, you'll see both these guys do pretty much the same thing for the first cycle of Lambo, but after that, you really just have to react to the patterns that they give you.
Yeah, this is right. So the setup is very similar at the very beginning. Hoping you're going to land at least 6. Oh, man. That was not, unfortunately, the greatest start on Bamboo's side. Hopefully you can recover some on the next couple of cycles. Potentially, in this case, going to give relkin potentially some time to catch up here.
So we got 1 down on cycle 3. I think he should be able to come close to cleaning this up. Because, that was kind of a mean jump. That up jump was pretty dirty.
The short hops landmos don't always have to cooperate with you, right? Ideally, you see them kind of like, hopping up and doing some, much longer time staying up in the air. Alright, relkin's on his bow landmos fight. Oh man, these
he fired the next arrow down.
Jeez.
Yeah, the rough part with Lambo is that if you miss, the arrow has to travel all the way to the wall before you can fire more of them. So you're just kind of standing there, just sad, watching your arrow not hit the Lambo. All right, it looks like he can. Oh, 1 more slash. Oh, that was dirty too.
Yeah, this is alright. So, fortunately or fortunately, like both runners kind of have the same, quote unquote, like bad RNG from Lambo, so maybe at least it's even.
Yeah. So on Bamboo's side, you're gonna see, I guess, the second kind of minor glitch that's allowed in the speedrun, which is fake flippers. So he's gonna jump in the water and screen transition on the first frame. That will allow you to swim without the flippers, and the most kind of important part of an NMG race is getting to that whirlpool, because if you get hit traveling to that whirlpool, you are going to have to save and quit and travel back to that spot, and it is, if in a non-race, it actually kills your run. It's like unsubmittable because you're not allowed to save and quit, but for the tournament perspective, they allow you to save and quit there.
Yeah, just because in this case, if you get hit, right, the game doesn't really know what to do. So I think you end up in this like 17-minute long like scroller glitch mode type of thing. So it's just not really like viable. So right, for the purposes of races, right, it's certainly better. You in this case, save and quit to Link's house and then basically get yourself in. Oh, it's infinite. Thanks, Fox. Well, then good thing we are allowed to save and quit for races.
All right, so now we are heading into we are in the Tower of Hair split. So this is the kind of most reset heavy of the Light World splits. It is a very dangerous split. Death Mountain, which they're on right now, can take away a lot of your health, and sometimes there's not a whole lot you can do about it. The key to Death Mountain is getting off of it as fast as possible. You see Bamboo missing the spin speed, but not getting too badly punished for it. Heading into Hair with 4 hearts is not too bad. Yeah,
right. And again, this is kind of another one of those, situations where maybe the outset Seikar wouldn't necessarily have the most impact, but however, depending on the RNG, it can certainly save your run. This is probably one of the only spin speeds where it's actually worth to retry, at least in the light world, just because, if we ever have to basically, stop and readjust, and charge up our dashes for every single turn, like, there's just no way we're going to avoid basically all of, like, the different, boulders and dead rocks and whatever. So it's certainly going to be very safely to do.
Yeah, nice job on relkin side.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. Boom dash here, nice. All right, we got gatekeeped by the little mini Moldor. That guy basically just reserve one of your hearts for him, because he is always going to take it as entry.
Yeah, it's impossible to know what to do with that guy. It's relkin bumming that dead rock out of the way quite nicely. So yeah, Bamboo getting a little bit of a break down here in the tower room where he can think about his upcoming Moldorn fight. Yeah. So the boss of Tower of Hera is very deadly into your run because he can knock you off of his platform. Yeah, he can also kill you. Getting through Tower of Hera is kind of the biggest, I would say, sigh of relief in any NMG race. Like, once that happens, it's the kind of the Moldorm fight and the Tower of Hera split is kind of what you're, or at least for me, what I'm worried most about coming into an NMG race.
Yeah, right, yeah, because just because, right, like, especially, you know, with the kind of RNG progression, right, throughout Light World, right, Landmos is, you know, more predictable at the beginning, but kind of moving on to more RNG. Like, Moldorm not only does 1 hard damage whenever he hits you, right, but he just moves erratically, right, it's almost just like pure RNG, right, you just have to really be able to know how to, like, read and react to him. And especially for his rage phase, right, when he goes, you know, significantly faster on his last hit, it can certainly very much, in this case, well, yeah, throw off your runs. Looks like actually we see Bamboo actually hitting the switch, potentially for some upcoming safeties for hearts. Oh no! Oh no! Alright.
The dash turn setup on the edge, so he was trying to set up a bomb jump to get to the Tower of Hera big chest. So that is actually going to swing. That's going to make this race quite close. Relkin recognizing, really nice job on his side. He not only did he do the beetles well, but he knew that arrow drop was coming.
Yeah.
He hesitated to dash and get them.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say quite sticky too, because sometimes that door can just suck you right in, so Relkin really also just make sure that he had enough distance.
Yeah, and so Relkin going to demonstrate the Tower Hera bomb jump. It's kind of the next minor glitch that is allowed. He did a spin to set himself on the edge of the pit, and that will allow the bomb to blast you across and allow you to get the Moon Pearl, which is the main prize in Tower of Hera. I gotta say, that setup that Bamboo does is faster, I would assume, but also a little bit risky.
Yeah, well, right. And
so now we're heading to the Moldorm fight. So this is the real gatekeeper of the Light World right here. So hopefully both these guys can get through it smoothly.
Yeah, kind of. We also see kind of like the cost in this case of you know, kind of not succeeding on the bomb jump, right? Bamboo ended up falling into 2 floors. Moldorm, for the most part, if he knocks you off, you will only fall 1 floor. That middle hole, though, oh wow, never mind.
Nice from
Yeah,
both runners.
jeez, that looked actually really pretty. No cost in this case for either runner. We're almost pretty much just synced up.
Right, all right, we're back. We got a race now.
Yeah.
So now these guys both just have to forget about everything that's happened up to this point and be like, hopefully they're watching the stream and just be like, we got to just go forward.
Yeah, right, so okay, so the next parts, in this case, the Castle Tower splits, we are, first we're gonna go get our Master Sword from the pedestal, because we have collected all 3 pendants. It is going to be pretty important where, in this case, we are going to try and collect the bulk of our remaining funds that we need in order to enter the Palace of Darkness, which is our very first dungeon in the Dark World. So, it looks like actually, you know, both runners are probably gonna opt, in this case, to do tree rupees, because, you know, apparently in Hyrule, money literally does grow on trees. You just gotta go, you know, hunting a little bit in order to kill off, in this case, 1 in 4 enemies without getting hit. So we already got the first one. Because of that 20 rupees earlier that both runners ended up getting as a drop, we don't have to pick up all of the green ones, all the blue ones. This ended up, so we actually got a couple of different hunting paths here on Bamboo and Relkin's side. But so long as you get your 4 in, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna be able to pick up 80 rupees later.
Yeah, you see Relkin opting to kill the bush crab. You don't see that too often. And Bamboo opting to kill the bird with the sword and then do a pickle shot. That's kind of cool. You just got to kill 4 enemies. It doesn't really matter which ones you choose.
Yeah, the important part is, of course, you just don't get hit.
Yeah, don't get hit. All right, so we have pretty synced Master Sword grabs. And so now we are in the Castle Tower split. This is, I think, an underrated split. I really like this split. It's kind of one of the most fun splits to execute. It's kind of like a mini Ganon's Tower that's in the Light World. A lot of like enemy kill rooms that have very distinct strategies that you need to learn and be able to execute well. And a kind of long and difficult overworld segment as well, which is not quite as fun. But once you get in the dungeon... I'm not sure.
It seems to be a general trend, I want to say, right? It's like the overworld is actually quite...
4 enemies. Yeah. Yes. What enemies did he kill? Oh, he's got a weird route.
I'm gonna just trust the game because the game has good compasses on its side, so I think it knows how to count, even though maybe we didn't necessarily. Because I didn't actually catch which 4 he killed either.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of actually not getting hurt, some of the bushes or grass in this case can actually have some hidden surprises that are not so much fun. We actually do see, both runners not necessarily running up the middle just so we can not necessarily clink, but having beams specifically for the first couple rooms of Agatower. Not only, of course, they let us kind of kill off the enemies rather quickly, we also are going to try and do a little bit of prize pack manipulation. Which is one of the best.
That's okay. He's only just a quarter damage. He still has his beams.
He still has beams. Okay, yeah. So, all right. First room is going to be pretty straightforward with bow and arrow. In this case, we're going to see Relkin and Bamboo beam both red guards and then dash kill them. Oh man, Relkin getting pretty fortunate that nothing ended up dropping, but in this case, if you dash kill an enemy, you don't advance the prize pack, and the blue guards here are the same prize pack as the Pokies, Internal Rock, which is like an hour from now, and we're going to want to keep, in this case, a fairy, in this case, because Turtle Rock ends up hurting a bit more.
So Bamboo's got to be a little more careful here. He can't get hit by the bat. Yeah, he knows that, so he definitely, I don't know if he would normally slash the bat in that situation. 0 chest turns on the Castle Tower key, so I'm slightly disappointed, but I will hold out for more later in the run. Unfortunate poke by the guard on Bamboo's side, which is going to make the future rooms up here slightly more difficult. Also, nice RNG on Relkin's side. I love it when that blue guard walks to the right. It makes that room so free.
Finally, some good RNG on Relkin's side. Just at the very beginning, it really kind of, bullied him a lot, but looks like at least enemies are going to cooperate a bit. Yeah,
you see this Spear Guard room, Relkin's able to use his beams to alert both of them to get them in a position where he can hit them with the bow and arrow and get through that room slightly faster.
Yeah, actually looks like, and actually with that, Relkin actually takes the lead going into Circle of Pots. Oh wow, look at the sync though, this is actually really pretty. Coming up though, as we're going to see in this case, the main source of absolutely uncontrollable RNG. In this case, let's just hope that the RNG is going to be similar for both runners. We're going to come up onto the wizard himself, Aghanim. He is going to throw us a number of, hopefully, very few blue balls and all of the energy shots, and that will advance us into the Dark Worlds.
Yeah, so this AO1 fight is a major kind of potential source of time loss when you're doing RTA runs. For the race, for both these guys, neither of these guys are really on PB pace. We just want to see a good race, so I don't really care that much how many blue balls we get. Just like you said, I want to see a very similar amount so we can keep this
exactly. Yeah, and of course, maybe those of you who might be more familiar with the rando, if we play the same seed, the number of, like in this case, Aga blue balls, Ganon warps, or whatever is going to be fixed between both runners. This is 2 separate console runs. In this case, right? So the RNGs are definitely not fixed between them, although it looks the number at least looks very similar.
Oh no! So we got three for 3 on Relkin's side. That's
man.
3 for 3 on Bamboo's side. I gotta say, them entering the exact same time makes it way easier to keep track of both plays. So.
Yeah, right. And of course, for the active cycles, right? The first one after out of the 5 is always going to be guaranteed energy shot. The next 3 are going to be 50-50 for blue balls versus energy shots, and then the last one's always going to be a lightning cycle.
So Bamboo could get away with 2. No, he's on 3. Relkin's on 5.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Relkin is, man, I think we spoke too soon about getting good RNG.
Yeah, so Bamboo's a guaranteed 3. So hopefully we don't see any more blue balls on Relkin's side. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Relkin is definitely just really racking these up.
Okay, so hopefully he doesn't get another one, because if he gets another one, it's another 6-second penalty. So hopefully, come on, let's get out of here with 6.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
sorry.
so Relkin's getting 7.
That's quite the number of difference in terms of blue balls. But however, even though this is going to be a bit of a time difference, Dark World is really where the run is made. Light World we talk about different kind of like little things here and there, maybe can kind of influence your race your timing a bit. Dark World difficulty certainly is amped up a lot. There are lots of things in this case that could swing a race.
Yeah.
Specifically, coming up to Palace of Darkness, this is probably one of the biggest sources of Sanctuary Heart usage. So pretty much everything else on the Dark World does 2 hearts of damage, and we actually see that in this case, because we have the 7th heart, specifically necessarily when we face like Helmasaur, for example, we can actually take an extra hit because 3 hits times 2 hearts is 6 hearts, and we have a 7th one in order to keep us alive, which is sick.
Yeah, so basically 30-second penalty for relkin on Ego 1. But now we're in the Dark World. This is where the gamers come to game. This is where the run gets more fun, gets way more dangerous.
That's right, finally comfy.
And gets much more difficult.
Yeah, so speaking of, alright, so we are, in this case, doing a nice, actually, Kiki dash on Bamboo side. I was certainly expect to see something very similar on Relkin side, because if you, in this case, just turn around very slightly, Monkey can dash, and also good, of course, on Bamboo to not get hit while having Kiki, even though they do have enough funds to get Kiki again. He will, in this case, if you take any damage, Kiki will run away, and then you have to pay him 10 more rupees.
Yeah, so Palace of Darkness is a great dungeon to start the Dark World. Very challenging. You'll see these runners kind of going through it multiple times. The hardest part about Pod can be actually remembering which path you're trying to get through, especially when you're in kind of an intense race where you're trying to focus on what you're doing. But both these guys are super experienced. Nice job slashing the berry out of the way on Bamboo's side. Yeah, but coming up, kind of one of the most critical, probably the most critical bomb jump in the run is the hammer jump. Very kind of difficult trick to pull off. You need to place yourself on an exact pixel to place the bomb, and then a different pixel to position yourself to get across a pit and be able to get to the hammer.
Yeah, and right, so I guess like the, certainly not necessarily a quote-unquote, intended, of course, for, especially for a casual playthrough. You are intended, of course, to kind of explore around a little bit more, in the dungeon, get yourself a couple of extra small keys. But in this case, that takes, a ton of time, right? And so we just basically take a shortcut. And I think in comparison, maybe to like the, the longer route, it's something like you can pause buffer and try to adjust your setup for hammer jump like 30 sometimes before it stops not being worth it.
Yeah, it's a massive time. It's a mandatory trick. So you're going to see BambooShadow. So the positioning is only on the y-axis. So that is kind of what you need to look for. Nice job. You got right on it with the first pause buffer. And he's quite low, so he's going to have to do a little bit of adjusting. There we go. He's got it. Nice job.
Nice job. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess maybe just for reference, every time you menu, so certainly you have two quote-unquote free ones, right, when you end up switching over to like the items for bombs and mirror, but every time you menu, it's like maybe right around a second. But just so like, yeah, you could basically take like a 30-second, buffer or something like that.
Yeah,
so that would be worthwhile.
Doing hammer jump fast is hard. Hammer jump is the final boss of having a good light world. Is not failing hammer jump. Relkin doesn't have quite as many pixels on his stream, so I can't tell. One more down. You got it. There you go. Nice job.
Wow. Yeah, nice recovery too on that one. Like kind of just in the nick of time.
See, both these guys grab a heart. It's very important to go into the basement of Palace of Darkness with beams to hit a couple of upcoming crystal switches.
Yeah, right, and right again. Arrow resource management is really going to be quite nice. Nice 5 drop though on Bamboo's side, but yeah, we can actually see in this case that the sword beams are basically going to be like free arrows, right? And especially coming up here in the basement, just be able to hit those switches much faster.
Yeah, good job on Relkin's side. He recognized he shot the bow too low. One of the keys in this game is that when you make a mistake, making a small mistakes not turn into big mistakes is really an underrated skill in the NMG speedrun.
Mm-hmm. It's also really nice statue manipulation there on Relkin's side. Oh no! Unfortunately, didn't quite in this case get the mimics because we ended up taking 2 hearts of damage. But yeah, so in this case, relkin is actually he did get a 5 arrow drop on the mimics though, so going to at least be able to use some of his arrows that he just picked up.
Very nice turtle room there on Bamboo side. That room, if you get some bad RNG or if you make a mistake, can get out of hand very quickly. And so getting that down as fast as he did is always very nice to see. So now we're entering the Helmasaur fight. You're going to, I think, see both of these guys do the spin speed strategy where they will hit him a few times and then earn a spin speed, which will allow them to hit him with their hammer much more easily. You see Bamboo demonstrating it quite well here.
Yeah, definitely, being able to offset the hammer's hitbox with spin speed, and then, using the hammer basically to do temper sword damage as opposed to, like, the master sword, damage, on phase 2. Can be quite dangerous, but looks like Bamboo got out relatively unscathed.
It was a couple hits, but still not bad at all.
Yeah. Then it didn't even need that Sank Harps.
So relkin has 1 less hit to give up, but I think he still should be okay.
Yeah.
Missing the spin speed is a little rough because that kind of throws off the timing. Getting the 17 hits you need to get quickly really helps because you can catch him. Like, you see how he's spitting out a fireball? If you can catch him, come on, relkin, you got this. Before he does that, you can get a few free hits in, but relkin recovers really nicely. Recovering after missing his spin speed, it can be really tough, and it can make the fight get out of hand very quickly. So relkin did really well to kind of stay composed and know what to do in that situation.
Yeah, and I mean, and like whether you get like the tail swipe versus like the fireballs, right? Certainly is also uncontrollable. You never really want to see the fireball. But again, right, as you mentioned, part of this in order to just be able to, once you see something, to be able to react and handle it well. So certainly really nice on relkin and Bamboo side. Alright, we finally did not get lottoed as we exit Palace of Darkness on Bamboo's side. Wow.
We didn't get lottoed yet.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very true statement. We are past the first Ropa. Hopefully, the other 2 Ropas it was past looks like at least going to be relatively safe. But I mean, okay, so it's really cool to see us, hopping under the Ropa when they jump, but it's also quite dangerous.
Yeah, so Thieves Town, very long and challenging overworld segment. You'll see them do a hammer dash here on this bridge. This is another kind of minor glitch that is allowed to get through that screen very quickly. Those enemies on that screen can be quite mean if you're a little slower. If you miss the hammer dash, yeah, but Thieves Town, very interesting split. Some very key rooms to make sure you do well, and like I said, a very long and kind of difficult overworld segment that you want to make sure. Nice job on relkin's side, nudging the tree to not get hit by that bird. So hopefully his bridge hammer dash goes well as well. Yeah, that was good. I think he recognized that he didn't nudge the statue, so he walked down a little bit to be safe.
Nice. Alright, yeah, in this case, as we see on Bamboo's side, he at least has claimed his flute first dig with a quick warp. There's basically, in this case, you just find the correct spot, in this case to mirror in the light world, and you save yourself 34 frames by just warping there a little bit faster.
Yeah, and this spin speed on Bamboo's side is one of the most critical ones to get. You'll see these guys retry as much as they need to get this because of that.
Oh no!
And dude, this is the fastest guard in Hyrule. Once he gets you, it's really tough to get away from him. Bamboo did a good job only taking 1 hit after getting, I don't know if I've ever been hit by that guard exactly once, so good job on his side.
Yeah, also, I think just good on recognizing the Bamboo side to recognize that he didn't have any more opportunities to start his dash, right? Because that guard was so close to him. So it was actually just going to be faster for him to try and block it, and versus maybe, trying to dash up and then basically getting more hit. While it's not critical in this case to have sword beams in, going into Thieves Town, you would like to have a little bit of health buffer going in because again, Dark World enemies, especially on this level of health, isn't going to be super comfortable. And on the overworld switch, that red guard, which does 1 heart of damage, you can basically lose a lot of health very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of things in the Dark World or in Thieves Town, the kind of this beginning part of the Dark World are going to do 2 hearts of damage, and when you don't have much health, that can add up very quickly. And so it looks like we have about a 37-second lead on Bamboo's side, so that is not a safe lead at all in NMG. So there's still much to see in this run.
Yeah, so I guess like that's pretty much the difference between like four blue balls difference, because it seemed like they had a relatively similar pod.
It's a little bit more.
Times,
He
right?
gained like
Okay.
6 seconds in pod, in addition to the 30 from the blue balls.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the beginning of Thieves Town is more just kind of getting to the big key, and getting into the back here is really where the challenge of this dungeon exists. Nice 257 entry on Relkin's side. That's quite good. Quite a good overworld segment.
Oh, jeez. A little bit of a sweaty, a nervous jump down on Vulcan's side. Didn't actually know if the pink Zizak was going to also go up as well. Would have been basically just 2 hearts of just like no reason to lose.
These rooms here are pretty critical to the split. On Bamboo side, you've got this room with all the Patrick stars that you have to read and judge correctly, and now this is the Hellway. If you get good RNG, this can go quite well if you get on an exact pixel. Nice adjustment. He messed up and didn't take a hit, so if you make a mistake and don't take any damage in that room, I think you've done all right for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how Relkin does through these rooms.
Yeah, in terms of health, both runners are actually looking pretty decent. Not going to be too worried. Again, crickets also do 2 hearts of damage. Certainly still could get some unfortunate RNG, but looks like we're going to be okay for now.
Really nice job on Relkin's side. He read the RNG in the Patrick Star room perfectly and nailed the God Pixel in the Hellway as well. He's got a good Thieves Town split going right now.
Yeah, and right, and as you mentioned earlier, right, like you have to basically land on the God Pixel, and then also you have to kind of hope in this case that the enemies kind of cooperate with you as well. You know, even though you try and get that clean dash, doesn't always have to be necessarily like enemies don't always have to cooperate with you. So Escape and Aga don't seem to be very very Relkin friendly, but I guess the rest of the enemies seem to be okay.
Yeah, Relkin's a strong Dark World player. I think that looking at his PB and his golds, like this is where he's gotten his 125-16. It's being made in the Dark World, not the Light World as much. So I kind of would expect him to do maybe make up a bit of time in some of these Dark World splits.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're just getting the Titan Smiths here, which is the prize of Thieves Town. Relkin opting to dash through the jail. That can be a little bit tricky. Canceling those dashes and opening the doors is deceptively difficult compared to what
you
it looks
can
like.
bonk quite quickly, yes, or quite easily.
Yeah, so the 526 mitts, and this is a good Thieves Town that he has going.
Alright, you'd be actually using the sword beams to kill the Bari, so he doesn't actually get electrocuted. It's kind of nice on Relkin's side.
You want to talk about blind? Go.
Yeah, we're here on blind. So the nice thing about blind is that if you do the same things, it will also do the same things back to you. So technically, he's just following the script. Always want to be able to see blind, in the upper left-hand corner. Didn't end up taking a single hit on Bamboo's side, so we are off and guarding a crystal. Relkin setting up kind of like his basic, looks like his blind script as well.
Relkin's on gold pace, or at least very close to it. I don't know exactly. He's on 705, and instead his gold to 705. So he gets through this cleanly.
Yeah, there's actually
gold on Relkin's side.
Yeah, very very much so. Right, and in fact, you even see that like the blind didn't even
miss it by a fraction of a second. It looks like.
Okay, we might get a donut. I don't know. I mean, I know Relkin has auto splitting turned on, so I guess maybe we'll just end up seeing what the auto split will end up doing.
Yeah,
but yeah,
really strong split. Like he had a bit of trouble in that pot switch room. If he had done that room well, that would have been like a 703, which is like a really really good Thieves Town. That's like 123 level running right there.
Alright, so we are now after Thieves Town. We have obtained the Titan Smith, so we're going to do, in this case, a little bit of fundraising for ourselves. We still need, in this case, a couple more pretty important items, namely the flippers and the tempered sword. Both of them do cost money. One of them, is surprisingly more expensive than the other. But in this case, we're going to get enough funds out of the Village of Outcasts. So 300 from the brewery, and then 300 from C-Shape House is basically going to, set up our funds for the rest of the game.
Ooh, Relkin doing, or sorry, Bamboo doing the old school.
Yeah, looks
Smith
like
rows.
it.
Bamboo's been around for a while. I'm not surprised to see some of the old school strats coming out. So you'll see Relkin mirror at the left edge of the screen, as opposed to what Bamboo's doing. The two strategies basically die. It's just it was kind of discovering what the strategy that Relkin's doing is just a little bit more consistent. That's all.
Yeah, but also, again, this is going to be runner's preference, right? Especially this is something that you're used to, comfortable with, especially in a race. You're going to basically go with the one that you think is going to be the most reliable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like what Ari's saying. Relkin made a lot of time up in Thieves, like 10 plus seconds. Alright, we're going to see another one of the most important tricks of the game on Bamboo's side, which is the fence dash. Hopefully he goes for it. Oh, no fence dash.
Oh, wow, wow.
Big sad on my side.
Oh, man, we even got a bonk on the bushes, too, going to Seaship House. It's actually I think it's pixel perfect, technically. It's just something you don't want to actually see.
Nice spin speed. Relkin doing... I know he does good shopping, so that is the last spin speed of the game, as it should be. Nice read on Bamboo's side, too.
I guess we're going to see. But yes, right. So actually, coming up, I guess we'll talk about it after maybe Skullwoods. In addition to, in this case, is kind of setting up our funds in order to get some flippers. We are going to basically need, in this case, the hook shot as well in order to go into Swamp Palace. And having hook speed, essentially same effect as having spin speed, but in this case, we just need item dash with the hook shot, as opposed to setting up the spin speed. And kind of depending on what your preference is, if you find hook dashing easier, certainly could be very yes favorable for you to in this case get the hook shot sooner rather than later.
Yeah, both runners getting the RNG that you need to adjust for on the pre-enter Skullwood screen, both doing it correctly. Relkin entering what is known as the easiest room in the game.
That's right.
Push the statue out of the way. Those mummies never get in your way, and it's just easy, just like that, smooth.
Where's the emote? We need the emote, Matt.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that was a good dash actually on Relkin's side as well.
Yeah, you opted not to go for the second dash. That second dash can be pretty cursed if you boost the mummy to the right.
Alright, so Bamboo also doing his bomb jump, basically just like a dash setup, getting his fire rod. Also, I guess in some effect, canceling out the fact that he does no longer have full health. Going into Mothula, ideally we would actually not have full health just because the sword beams actually do count as part of the hit, because I guess as part of the damage tables, Mothula can actually get damaged by fighter sword. So in this case, if we don't have sword beams, we don't have to necessarily worry. We'd only in this case just have temper sword damage.
Nice. Relkin says he does like a hybrid early bomb jump thing in Skullwoods. I never quite know what he's talking about, but seeing that, I guess that is what he was talking about. That's
hybrid.
Cool.
Alright, nice fire snake RNG, basically allowing a free key dash into the back of Skullwoods. You can see some quick strats here on torches.
Yeah, that mummy hellway room there on Bamboo's side is probably the most challenging room in Skullwoods if you're going to do the optimal strat. Nice job. Oh, he dashed, I think, a little bit too early. If slashing that mummy into the spike does more damage, it allows you to kill him quicker. Alright, now we're into the Mothula fight. So ideally, you want to get 2 hits on this dash upwards. You only got 1, but Mothula is playing kind of nicely. That
wow.
Because if you hit Mothula, Relkin getting bunnied. Taking the hit. Okay, so he took those 2 hearts to get some speed. So he's going to enter Mothula on 3 hearts. Should be okay if the fight goes well. Hopefully he gets as good RNG as Bamboo did.
Yeah, right. I mean, right. So initially, ideally, if the absolute, nicest fight is going to be, 2 hits at the very beginning and then just a couple slashes here and there in order to try and get him down. But if Mothula decides to stay up top, it's dangerous.
One more time.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay. Relkin messed up a little bit. He hit a left-moving conveyor, which can be quite tough to get the double hit on. I'll give you that. And then Mothula went to the right and then was just kindly flew himself into the center of the arena for him. So not too much time lost there.
Yeah, sometimes you just see Mothula just go up and then refuse to come back down, and just like by the way, so this is probably in general true for every single boss, especially in Dark World. The faster you kill them, the better. Not only of course there's a time save, but Mothula, like the longer you stay in that arena, the more dangerous it becomes. Right? Spikes are gonna come flying all over you. Mothula decides to is also gonna be pretty erratic, and he does actually have an erase phase if you stay there long enough. So certainly we just want to get out of there as fast as we can.
So I think Relkin is giving up just a couple seconds in Skullwood, so not too bad. He's still maintaining or coming back in the Dark World after the Ega issue/pod issues. So now we're hitting the Ice Palace split. Ice Palace is a very scary split. When you are in a race, you see these guys going through an overworld segment where they need to get the Quake Medallion and the flippers for future use in the run, and that screen that BambooShadow is on can really put a wrench in your Ice Palace. If you do that dash that he did, that enemy that can hit you and deal 2 hearts of damage, and going to Ice Palace with beams is very important if you want to go fast. So good for him that he did not get lotteried. Alright, see, hopefully Relkin gets the same RNG. He may opt to do a safer strat as an adjustment. No, he's going for it. Good. Alright, we don't want to see any lottos.
Yeah, also, I don't know, it seems like some people also kind of opt to do a Louis dash, right? Just try and basically avoid that situation completely, but in this case, yes, very happy to see in this case that no one got lotto, basically, the entire game so far.
I'm going to pick up the bush. That's interesting.
Alright, it's like no quick fish for either one, but it's fine.
Yeah, this is Zora screen that Bamboo's on. I think this is like the longest overworld screen in the game. Very difficult to optimize. Dashing in water is kind of slow, so you want to make these dash lines as long as possible. That fireball's in kind of a mean position.
Yeah, good thing in this case Bamboo slowed down a bit. I don't know if he was actually going to get a hit, but again, as you mentioned, right? So, health in general is very important for for Ice Palace. Having beams for the first couple sets of rooms is even more important for speed. Alright, so in this case, Bamboo has claimed his flippers, and he's going to try and do a couple more extra dashes. Hopefully they're going to be relatively clean, and then we're going to basically potentially face the final obstacle before going to Ice Palace, which is a Zora that randomly spawns. Hopefully in this case he will not actually get into Bamboo's way, and then to just nick off like an extra heart or something.
Yeah, that's a good position.
He looks safe.
It's just a matter of getting in the whirlpool can be deceptively difficult as well. But going to Ice Palace with full health and a halfway decent entry time, so nothing to complain about on Bamboo's side.
Yeah, hopefully in this case we're also going to get some similar RNG, or at least he's going to be able to keep his health.
Kind of a mean position for Relkin. He can slash him though, and get a free bomb if he wants it, but he doesn't need it, so it's fine. Yeah,
right. In this case, you're right. And so, like, if you see the Zora, don't just try swimming in. You definitely want to take him out.
Yeah, and so that Zora will always drop a bomb. That prize pack that they are in. Ooh, nice. Early
yeah,
fire
I didn't actually know that.
I don't think I've ever fired that early. Yeah, okay. Bamboo opting to save the penguins, taking 2 hearts of damage, which is going to make this upcoming room a little bit more challenging. But if you get good RNG, it doesn't really matter. It looks like the jellies are cooperating for him.
Yeah, again, Bari's also actually some of the roughest RNG enemies inside a dungeon. Definitely talk about like dead rocks and stuff outside in the overworld. But in this case, they seem to Bamboo basically has gotten some pretty decent RNG, enemy RNG so far. Like basically this entire run.
A nice left-moving conveyor with no shocking berries, which not having beams in that room is exactly what you want. So not getting punished as much as he definitely could be for losing beams. So now we're at the Ice Palace bomb jump. This glitch completely breaks open the dungeon, makes it much faster than it normally would be. It's like Relkin getting through the dungeon as well. Hopefully he has as smooth as a conveyor room as Bamboo did. You see him doing the kind of optimal beam strat.
Nice, yeah.
To grab the key. Nice penguin lineup there on Bamboo's side as well. These rooms are very technical. This kind of stretch from that bombable floor room through to Cold Stair is low-key one of the most difficult parts of the speedrun.
Low-key? Really? Don't think those scenes are very difficult.
It's underrated.
Okay. is actually pretty fair, just because, kind of like the big ticket ones, right? Especially for Ice Palace is going to be this upcoming boss fight, which is Cold Stare, right? And of course, just from a difficulty perspective, you are expected to have a blue mail by the time you face Cold Stare and everything throughout afterwards. So the game really kind of ups its damage output in terms of enemies. And yeah, Cold Stare, the fact that we actually even have, 6 hearts, 7 hearts going in is somewhat deceptively, false in this case. So one hit and we're...
on Bamboo side. Cold Stare is a scary boss, so there's a few different strategies that you can do to take care of Cold Stare. We will see what Bamboo opts to do. So looks like he's going to be doing some type of poke. Looks like a single poke, a double spin, and a slash.
Yeah, nice.
Textbook.
Yeah, didn't even actually in this case menu buffer to actually kind of try and read the enemy RNG or anything like that. So we're basically going to use that the swap later.
So, Relkin is on gold pace in Ice Palace right now. So if he gets a clean Cold Stare here, he should get a gold. Very nice. Get the double spin and
yeah, nice job.
I believe that will do. Although my timing is slightly different because I don't menu to mirror. I think it should be a gold. It might, if it's not, it barely misses. So some really strong splits being put together by Relkin in this Dark World. Both these guys, really good Ice Palaces.
Yeah, no, certainly execution has been quite good for Dark World. And again, this is where the runs are made, right? Don't worry about the little mishaps in this game. Don't worry about getting dropping 2 floors in Hera. All seem pretty insignificant at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna check and see what the exact difference is because I think Bamboo's gonna opt to do his shopping in Swamp, or at least some. I think you said he gets both Ether and Ice Rod in Swamp. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so this is where you can kind of have a difference that... it's the golden donuts on Relkin's side.
Oh, so, nice.
Very nice. So well done on his part. So these guys' routes are going to diverge for a little bit here. You're going to see Bamboo grab the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod in the Swamp Split, whereas Relkin is just going to go straight into Swamp and to get those items in the Misery Mire Split.
Yeah, right. So kind of, I was gonna say major differences being that as Relkin's going to go into Swamp Palace, he's going to beat it, and in this particular case, the most coveted prize, of course, from Swamp Palace is going to be the hook shot, and that you mentioned earlier, right? We don't have any more spin speeds on Relkin's side anymore. Of course, we actually kind of seeing that on Bamboo's side, where he has to still do another spin speed to get up to a Death Mountain and the Ether Tablet.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like Bamboo's just going to get the Ether Medallion in Swamp, and he will get the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, most likely.
Okay,
so we're not going to see these guys converge for a while. I will say, I think Swamp is Relkin's best split, and that feels weird for me to say, because it doesn't feel like Swamp is anybody's best split, but Relkin is an extremely strong Swamp. He's got 644 gold. That's really good.
Oh, wow.
I don't think there's any 125-16 runners that have a 644 Swamp.
Yeah, Swamp is what? Yeah, I don't know if any part is considered to be underrated in terms of difficulty. Certainly, feel free to hop in. But these are every single room, right? Just feels like there are so many enemies that can just kind of nick you and then kind of knock you out of whatever dash or execution movement you're doing, and then you basically have to readjust. So it's actually really easy in order to just kind of get off track here.
Yeah, so you have Swamp Palace, again, a dungeon that usually won't kill you, but you can take a lot of nicks and scratches, and a lot of bad enemy patterns can really slow you down. It's kind of like the death by a million cuts. It is probably my least favorite split in the Dark World. I think it's a lot of people's least favorite split in the Dark World, but it is very deceptively, it's a long split, so it's very important to get good at it if you want to get good times.
Yeah, and also, Swamp is kind of like the anti-Boots dungeon too, right? Just because, Boots let you move 4 pixels, and Swamp, if you're to try and dash in water, it's only 3.
And Relkin recognizing that he was going to get hit by the firebar there and readjusting. Yeah, so again, it's just there's a lot of movement in water in Swamp, so it's not getting hit by that guy on Bamboo's side is always clutch.
Yeah, and I actually to see in this case, one of the advantages, of Bamboo's route in this case to get the Ether Medallion first is right. You guys kind of like saw a real life demonstration of just how terrible Death Mountain can be, right? Lots of in this case uncontrollable RNG basically to take off a bunch of health from you. Swamp Palace being the second crystal of the regular game isn't probably going to be right. And it's not like the Ice Palace or Turtle Rock version, right? Things basically they can hit frequently, but most of the time, right? It's going to be like half heart, something like that. And the fact that we have so much health going in, and we don't need beams, right, for the first, whatever number of, of rooms. Basically, it's just like, if you end up getting hurt, it's not going to be too big of a deal, because we really want to be able to have, beams for like Meyer.
Like making a slight mistake in that, with that block push, it's very important to get a smooth push on that block to that room quickly. That room gets very out of hand. I don't know what it's called. I'm assuming that room has a name, but able to recover it without turning into too much of a disaster.
Yeah, it really actually just shows in this case the strength of the runner as well. We talk about in this case, sometimes, especially for PBs, we really kind of only see like when things go, absolutely right, after however many hundreds of attempts, right, in order to get that, it's really going to be, especially for race setting, right, to be able to adjust and react to something that, goes wrong and basically recover, right. That's really, it shows some real character and testament.
Yeah, nice read on Relkin's side. He knew he did that key pickup a little slowly, so he poked his sword out to prevent getting owned by that water enemy. Puffs in rapid succession. Hopefully Relkin's going to give us an excellent demonstration. Looks like it's going quite good. Okay, he was a little late on one of his hooks. He might be able to recover this. No, he's going to take a one cycle, which is pretty free. Like if you do a different strat, you're going to get a one cycle anyway.
Okay. So in this case, hopefully in this case, Bamboo's going to be able to do his own, like I said, zero cycle.
Yeah, I don't know if Bamboo goes for it or not.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Oh yeah, he is going for it. Looking good so far. He's got to get to the right guy. It was unfortunate. He just didn't quite get to that right guy fast enough. And the important thing to remember is when you screw up, you need to get yourself out of that spin speed state.
It looks like also doing fire rod shots, 2 shots and a spin. Certainly some runners are going to opt to also go for 2 spins, just so it's technically just more consistent. Because if you end up missing any of the fire rod shots, you're going to have to do a 2 cycle for the end anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, both these guys had a little bit of a swamp. Although,
that's right, swamp. Nobody likes swamp.
But I think it was fairly even on given the circumstances. So you can see Relkin do all of his shopping here in the Misery Mire split, so he will go get both the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod.
Yeah, Relkin also got a really nice quick warp, getting out of Swamp Palace as well. Sometimes those quick warps are kind of like difficult to line up on Swamp, so really nice to be able to see that he gets them.
So you see, the reason why Relkin is opting to do Ether in this split is because he can do these hook climbs. It allows you to get the spin speed state a little bit more easier, and you can climb those stairs slightly faster. Although the downside of this is that you really, really want to go into Mire with full health, and you are subjecting yourself to a Death Mountain climb while trying to do that, which can be very scary.
Yeah, looks like though Relkin is, don't want to talk too soon because of this dead rock right here, but he is, looks like he's going to be relatively home free after getting up his Ether Medallion. Meanwhile, though, Bamboo into Maya area because he already has his Ether Medallion, so he's going to be the first one. So technically, I think we have seen actually in a very recent race that Murder-Dactyl can actually hit you if you're not careful. But in this case, as long as you activate the Ether Medallion quick enough, you should be good to go. Speaking of, going into Mire, this is the most anxiety-inducing screen!
Dude, I cannot believe relkin didn't slash, and he just picked up that bomb with that crab staring him down. He opened it. Whoa, I do not have this balls that man has.
Oh my gosh.
I cringed a little bit. Holy moly.
Yep, that's exactly why. So Death Mountain can also do lots of damage for you. These crabs also do 2 hearts of damage to you. You know, especially on green mail. Again, you really don't want to be down 2 hearts into Mire. Not only because of we can do, you know, you lose your beams for Mire too, which was a nice job on Bamboo's side. Mire is actually one of those dungeons where there's actually quite a bit of damage boosting and actually taking potential damage. Like, for example, right here, take 3 hearts of damage, or soon, in this case, I'm going to get some keys, but we actually really want a good amount of health going into Vitria so we can kill it quickly.
Yeah, so you're going to take at least... You're going to take probably 8 hearts worth of damage. You got the Spark Gamble for 1, you're going to take 3 to pick up a key, and you're going to take at least 4, probably usually 5 on the boss. So your health is a very important resource in the Misery Mire split.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, I guess for what it's worth, right, you know, because the Sank Heart is one of those safeties, it also does pay some amount of dividends, right? Especially when things go poorly, you know, you lose a couple of extra hearts going into Mire for whatever reasons, right? Crabs, you know, boulders, whatever. Sank Heart can certainly, you know, give you a little bit of extra buffer.
Bamboo on pretty damn good pace, considering the 2-floor hairfall. Both these guys are
oh yeah, no, they've been doing quite well.
Considering the major mishaps that both of them have had in this run. So Bamboo's on pace for like a high 126, which is like only a minute above his PB, considering he took a 40-second hair fall. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, like, if you can basically, you know, have a race time of something within like 30 seconds to a minute of your PB, like that's actually really good. Always really good to be able to see if you can always beat it, obviously, but I mean, again, this is a race setting, right? You're not definitely going to go for all of the normal strats you probably go for in order to try and save a bit of time. Looks like though no Spark Gamble today, at least for Bamboo, so I'm just going to opt to take the slightly higher route.
Yeah, so that was like a round of 107 torches on relkin's side, so he can also still 126. So I think Bamboo's a little bit ahead. I think he's like about 15 seconds ahead. We'll know for sure when they're entering TR, because that's when it's going to converge.
Right. Yeah, and just
so
for kind of like the difference.
Side, this is the 3 heart damage boost to collect that key quickly. So that's the kind of the first. He's got 9 hearts going to the basement. He'll have 10 if he picks up that spot. So he's in absolutely fine shape.
Yeah, looks like it. Just going to hook the pot. And also taking care in this case to hook just low enough in order to not get bamboozled by the Whiz Rope. Whiz Ropes do 4 hearts of damage, and if they actually do not hook, I guess, like low enough, sometimes you can't get out of it, and you're just kind of like watching doom like slowly approach you. And you just really can't get out of taking 4 more hearts of damage. Yeah.
So on Bamboo's side, you're going to see what we call the spooky action glitch. He set up a variable when he fluted to Misery Mire that will allow him to fire out that spike and hit a switch higher up in the room. And in this room, which is the biggest benefit of Spooky, he will be able to fire out that anti-fairy to hit a switch in the next room. That prevents you from having to bomb open a wall and walk in and hit a switch. It saves I think 10 to 12 seconds. And it's very cool to see. Alright, so now we're getting into the Vitreous fight. So the optimal strategy for this fight is to go into the goo, which deals 1 heart of damage and allows you to kind of damage boost and get some iframes. Okay, he's got to be a little careful. He can save this. He's got enough health. He's got to be a little careful on this right side. He's got 3 to clean up. He's probably going to get 2 cycle. Oh no, nice job saving the 1 cycle. That was
actually quite nicely done.
Just having that mistake and being able to recover like that is really good. Oh no, it looks like relkin missed Spooky.
Oh, did he not kick up Dust? Uh-oh. Alright.
Luckily he does have a bomb. That's another kind of one of the safety strats. You might see some people pick up an extra bomb. Some runners don't go into Mire with a bomb, although both these guys might do it anyway.
It's a race,
for Bamboo,
yeah.
Right, Bamboo still doesn't have the ice draw, so he kind of has to go into Mire with the bomb.
and I guess for what it's worth, like in the case where Bamboo has 0 bombs going into Ice Rod, there is a 50-50 rock that does have a bomb, so he can at least like press his luck, and just in case if he really does run out. So
hopefully Relkin's Vitreous fight goes smoothly as well.
Yeah, to really be able to take advantage of the goo that only does 1 heart of damage with every.
Oh, man.
Alright, okay, so the iron does do 4 hearts. So Relkin's definitely not in 1-hit KO mode. The lightning only does 2, but it is really quite scary to be in that position.
That eyeball would have done 4. That eyeball would have offed him. That he was like frames away from.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Sakehart, by the way. This is exactly why we pick up Sakehart, especially during races.
Okay, so everything is fine. I'm not worried.
That's right.
Okay, so now these guys are going to converge. So you see Bamboo getting the ice rod that Relkin has already collected, and so Relkin's just got to get through this cutscene. I think he's got about 15 more seconds or so of this cutscene.
Yeah. Yes, alright, so good thing for us, Bamboo, in order for him to slash the crowd, not taking any extra damage. Again, Turtle Rock is the last crystal dungeon of the game, right? So enemies are going to hit very, very hard. Pretty much everything does 4 or, in some cases, 3 hearts of damage. So even though we are going into Turtle Rock, actually really nicely done on the overworld, not taking a single heart of damage so far. Going to be able to keep our beams, and but of course also giving us a little bit of extra enemy buffer as well.
So given that Relkin DM'd me and specifically asked me to commentate this race, I better see a Waffle House drive on the right side of the screen right now. Okay, it was an attempt. I'm okay with it. As long as you try, I'm okay with it. Okay, you are forgiven. That was kind of a tricky RNG to deal with there.
Yeah. I also don't know if Bamboo is also watching the stream, or knows kind of like where Relkin is, if he's going to end up doing anything kind of different on his side. You're gonna try and get the totally free quick warp. That is totally free. I don't know how people do this.
So yeah, Turtle Rock, like super scary dungeon. Also a very challenging dungeon. So as you mentioned, way back in Egg Tower, we have preserved a nice fairy for us to collect in TR to regain some health to make it a little bit safer. But there's basically everything in TR does 4 hearts of damage, and you just need to react to a lot of challenging RNG and stay alive is the main goal here.
Yeah, interesting that Bamboo actually did not opt to kind of to use the sword beams and try and slash the Baris from afar. He just ended up opting to basically just take the damage, which is certainly fine. But in this case, especially sometimes if you have beams, in order to be able to slash the Bari away, so it can be quite beneficial. And having both in this case. The fairy as an option basically will allow us a little bit of using the faster strats in order to kind of damage boost our way through the spikes. Just like that, using some iframes to be able to dash right out, as opposed to basically waiting around or like trying walking or even like mirroring out.
Yeah, saves you a few seconds to damage boost off of that roller and be able to dash out of the screen. Alright, you see Relkin able to hookshot that torch to save him a little bit of time, whereas BambooShadow opted for the world record strat of missing the torch and having to hook to it after.
Alright, so we did see in this case Bamboo getting his fairy drop from the first Poke, so it was kind of nice to be able to see going to full health. Did help with the chain jumps relatively well, being able to use the iframes from the switch in order to basically get through and getting that key. That room, Chomps, arguably, certainly depending on who you ask, is going to be, Chomps are going to be worst enemies in the game, or at least, if not the worst, going to be the top, 2 or 3 or something. 4 hearts of damage, not necessarily the friendliest RNG, can actually be quite dangerous.
Ooh, nice, good job on Relkin's side. He got a semi-quick aggro, but was able to do the room fast enough to get the iframes off of the pegs. Alright, getting both the fairy and the magic on Bamboo's side, so he is kind of fully stocked to get to the back of the dungeon. So these Poke rooms, there are 4 different RNGs that the first Poke that you just saw Bamboo kill can give you, and there's 16 that Pokes too, and so kind of knowing generally what to do for these RNGs is very critical to getting through this dungeon quickly. So relkin they both got the bottom right, which is pretty comfy. You just kind of wait for him to get near the door and double slash him, getting both the fairy and the magic, which is nice. You can see Bamboo going into Pokies 2. What do we got here? Okay, upright,
pretty
not too
decent.
bad.
Yeah, pretty decent RNG. All nice, and being able to avoid the 8 bomb drop as well. Yeah, so we're pretty much done with price pack drops at this point. We don't really want anything else, because we don't really need anything else.
Yeah, and having beams for this upcoming room on Bamboo side makes this room much faster and easier. Otherwise, you have to do this with the King Samaria, which can be pretty tight to beat the roller. All right, let's see what Relkin gets. Ooh, the God Pokies on Relkin's side.
Yeah,
so
those are actually really nice.
A little bit of time here over Bamboo, because he can not only does it make that first room faster, but you can do those 2 dashes and get the key dash in the room after, which makes things quite quick. And Relkin also having beams for Crystal Roller are going to save a little bit of, well, not over Bamboo, but save a little bit of time over the alternative.
Right, I think it's something like half a second, right? Like to be able to have beams here, so it's actually quite nice.
And so now we are heading into the laser skip. There's a few different ways you can do this. Let's see what Bamboo's opting for. It looks like he was going to go for the optimal strat. He was a little bit too high there, but it was able to slash the beetle and recover nicely. All right, now we are heading into the Trinex fight. Trinex, again, another pretty dangerous boss. Not only does he do 4 hearts damage, but you also have to manage your magic a little bit. And if the fight gets out of hand, it can be very easy to run out of magic. Nice job on Relkin's side. Only getting hit by the beetle, not a big deal.
Yeah, but otherwise very well executed, actually. To be able to basically get through and while hitting the beetle and then basically just slashing him and then getting right out.
Nice job on Bamboo side, getting behind the firehead, which makes the fight faster and more consistent.
Yeah, and especially with the Ice Rod for timing, and the apparent hitbox of the Ice Rod beams doesn't always have to necessarily cooperate. So it's certainly going to be, you know, a bit trickier. So yeah, if the fight goes south, it can go south very, very quickly. It's really nice to be able to see a very nice, clean textbook fight on the other side. Relkin kind of hopping back and also doing some backdoor strats as well, being able to correctly count to 4 in order to be able to, before switching over to the Fire Rod. Looks like a really nice fight on both sides so far.
Yeah, so this is still pretty tight heading into Ganon's Tower. We'll get an exact count once we get these sorted out. So I think it's about the same 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, super tight race so far. Given, so we had a couple of different mishaps, I think, on each side on the light world. But again, you know, as you said, runs are made in the dark world. Super solid dark world, basically on both Bamboo and Relkin's side.
Yeah, it looks like thanks to Jon Snow, we've got a 21-second lead for Bamboo, and Ganon's Tower, kind of maybe objectively the most challenging dungeon in the game. It's really a great end to this speedrun. I guess Relkin's also up a menu, so I guess it's technically 20 seconds. Like a lot of very challenging room clearing and getting through this dungeon very quickly. I see let me look at their golds. So 711 on Bamboo's side, and Relkin has a 707, but I believe Relkin's a back crash splitter, so pretty equivalent gold.
I think you're right.
Bamboo is a landing splitter.
That's the correct split, by the way. It's the landing.
For sure.
But
so
yeah,
really interesting to see. So I don't know if these guys know exactly what position they're in, but a lot can happen in Ganon's Tower. So I'm looking forward to sitting back and watching.
Oh yeah, and as you said, potentially, objectively the most, difficult dungeon of the game. I mean, it is of course the end game, the very last thing we have before, in this case, fighting arguably 2 most difficult bosses. Ganon himself, of course, Aghanim too. Lots of execution, lots of very technical rooms. Also, a good amount of source of RNG, right? Especially, infamous Gauntlet. Rooms don't always have to necessarily cooperate for you, but in order to do some of these rooms cleanly, it certainly does take a lot of bit of practice.
Nice job on Bamboo's side, throwing that boomerang and using his kind of hookshot frames to be able to hook through those pegs.
Yeah, I was actually I was looking both maybe Bamboo and Relkin's gonna go potentially for the pre-mold arm small key. We actually did see both of them skip the torch key, which runners at least have the option of getting 3 small keys for whatever one they take as a preference. The torch key, of course, is by far the safest one, just because all you gotta do is bonk the key off the torch, but it's also considered to be, in this case, like the slowest one. Certainly not slower by too much, I think maybe only a second, but still, you know, at this level, you're probably not willing to afford a free second if you can do, you know, the upper GT well.
I don't think you're going to see any Dark World gamers get that torch key.
Yeah, that's actually probably true.
Well, somebody can pull Greenham off the couch, but
yeah.
We'll see what happens in the next season. Alright, so now we're heading into, we're going to see all 3 Light World boss refights with a little twist to them. We have Irmos on ice, so we're going to have a slightly different strategy. He's probably going to fire 3 up, 2 to the left, 1 up, and then delay and fire 2. He was a little early on his upshot, but still is able to clean it up relatively nice. I see Relkin fell into a pit somewhere. But looks like he is he's back on track.
Yeah, and good arrow management. Oh, looks like actually Relkin actually doing a really nice job being able to get the 10 arrows from the chest and not even getting hit by the anti-fairy. Anti-fairy, while the damage or health isn't going to be too big of a deal, is really the magic hit that really makes the difference. Because then you have to end up picking up more magic. You really want a full magic part before going up to Gan's Tower or the Gauntlet.
Alright, nice job getting through the mix there. You see, I saw Relkin off to get the chest arrows before Ice Armos. So these Mimics rooms that are going to be upcoming Relkin side, really 2 of the most difficult and really enemy clear rooms in the game. These guys will make them look very easy, but the movement in this room is actually quite challenging. Nice game.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice GBC. Really, this is a showcase of in this case about being an NMG runner.
Alright, Relkin taking a fireball to the face, but that's fine. Health is not too much of a concern until it is a concern. But with 8 hearts,
he's probably okay.
He's still in good shape.
Really nice gauntlet so far on Bamboo's side. Enemies have been actually relatively cooperative, not having to really getting too far out of reach. Let's see what happens in G5. Not quite in this case being able to hit the skeleton, but is able to recover.
Get a little bit of bad RNG on the GBZ. Nice 414 Landmo entry. That is certainly gold pace on Bamboo side, even with that slow G5.
Oh man, that pattern for Landmos. Basically, just 1 hop to the left, 1 hop to the right. Oh my gosh. Alright, Bamboo needs to be, like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna probably try to use any more Fire Rod shots just so he can, in this case, preserve the rest of his magic. Yeah, I think he needs maybe an extra pot somewhere.
No, he's good, he's good.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe he just ended up taking an extra Fire Rod shot on Lamos that he actually still had the ability to have. Okay.
Nice job on Relkin's side, shooting the arrow to get through. Ooh.
Yeah.
No mirror. Ooh.
Yeah, no mirror.
Both
this
those
is.
shots.
Oh no,
okay,
Relkin. Oh my gosh. Alright, so this is when you said that health is an issue until it's not an issue until it becomes an issue. So this is where Relkin might be need to be a little bit more careful here.
Alright, Relkin's got to be careful with his magic management as well. He's got to pick up pots in the next room anyway, I think, maybe to get some health. So he might just opt to blast away. Okay, that's fine. Except you got more magic than he needs. See if he opts to pick up a heart. You can collect some health in these upper GT rooms. He may not care, right? He probably is watching and knows he's behind, so if he dies, he's still behind, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I guess maybe like in terms of it not mattering the things, if you can at least make it to Ganon, like, you know, post Aga 2, that'll probably be the safest place.
This room here is a little scary though, because with 1.5 heart, this room can just kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But okay, we see the Moldorm refight on Bamboo side. Looks like he's going to be in a good position to spin him there. Really nice job.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. No, yeah, this is quite the contrast between, you know, fighting Moldorm 1 in this case. You know, we only had Fighter Sword, and so we had to go through all of the phases. In this case, Temper Sword just a slash and a spin. So, much safer and that's more consistent.
Rob's got to be a little careful of the jingle glitch here. Okay, that's fine.
I think I think he was.
Yeah, picking that hard can make that timing very unfavorable. All right, so now we're in the Aghanim 2 fight. This is another extremely challenging fight to do fast.
This is what we saw both of them practice. I think like the only thing that we saw them practice in this case before the race. I think that was 2?
Bubble, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that is a despawn. So if you hit Aghanim into like the wall, he sometimes despawns. He did it again. 2 despawns. This is very unfortunate, but he's gonna get a 4 cycle. Cleaned up nicely. Considering he had 2 less shots to deal with, getting a 4 cycle is not too bad. Alright, so now we're ending the Ganon fight. Ganon, like a very scary final boss. So if you touch Ganon, he does 8 hearts. If his bats hit you, they do 4 hearts. So you can see both these guys try and 1 cycle the first 2 phases of Ganon. Ganon has 4 phases. And there is an RNG component to this fight as well. The warps in the 3rd phase. But so you can see Bamboo go for 3 slashes here. And trying to get double spin as Relkin's doing his Agate 2 fight.
Oh man, those I think Relkin's got 3 hits down so far, but those second shots were certainly very close. And unfortunately got a blue ball as well, so hopefully this is going to be his last cycle as well. So I think he's going to end up being a 4 cycle.
Right, nice job on Bamboo's side, getting through the first 2 cycles. Like Relkin has got Agate 2 down, so now we will play the warp game.
There's a lot of warps here so far on Bamboo's side. Yeah, again, one of those uncontrollable things in this case that you just kind of have to deal with.
Yeah, and then the other very important thing is the torch glitch that you will need to get. So you need to light the left torch before the right torch goes out once Ganon finishes phase 3. See him off to get 1 spin off, not going for 2, which is fine. Is he going to lamp or fire? No, going. Oh, he changed his mind.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't know if Bamboo's watching, but especially at this point, torch glitch right now to get, especially on Bamboo's side, is absolutely critical. So while you can do it, still very much so with the fire rod, it's still much easier to be able to spam that lamp.
Nice job by Relkin.
Setting, right?
Really did. Getting that front-facing Ganon that he got can be tricky, and he dealt with it quite well. He's got to be careful here, though. He can't get hit by this kind of wayward bat. Okay,
yeah.
He should be good now.
Yeah, in this case, right. Really, great on Relkin to be able to get himself at least, up like 4 hearts or 5 hearts in this case to be able to take an errant bat hit.
Looks like we have a Ganon down on Bamboo's side. And so GG's to them. This is going to be quite a good time.
Oh yeah, for both of them.
Considering a 2-story Hairfall, this guy's got 125.43 PB. He's going to get like a 126.50, I think. 49. Really, really well done. Really nice run.
Yeah, definitely get your GG's out in chat for Bamboo. Looks like actually ZSR bot has said official time of 126.49. Yeah, again, I think within a minute, I think, of PB.
Yeah, just over.
Yeah, maybe a little bit over. Yeah, certainly really good showing. Yeah, especially considering we fell 2 floors in Hera in the Light Worlds.
Let's see, Relkin has gotten the torch glitch, getting through. He looks like he has Ganon down as well. So this is going to still end up being
quite close.
Race. Like really, Relkin showed a lot of good stuff, especially in the mid game. Like that Thieves split and the Ice split, both really strong. And so GG's to them as well. Really great race.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. This was actually really one great race to watch. Really great, solid performances on both Bamboo and Relkin's side.
Guess maybe we'll see if we can get anybody in to
that would be great.
The run. So yeah, I think that concludes the first week of NMG League. Is really good week. I had a lot of fun watching a lot of these races. I think whenever Fox throws this one into the challenge machine, we're going to get matchups for next week, and people can start scheduling those, so I have something to watch during my day. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think in this case we're just potentially waiting for some confirmation on runners, so hopefully we can see them get in here.
So Bamboo's going to go to 1-0, so he will face, I guess, one of the other 1-0 runners. Relkin going to 0-1 will face one of the 0-1 players, obviously, because that is how Swiss works. There you go. See the links in the chat if people want to get more information about the NMG League. And shows to everybody who is involved in making this happen. This is really cool. It's really good to see NMG races happen and have like a kind of fun competitive outlet for NMG. All right, looks like we are joined by BambooShadow. GG's, dude. Nice run.
Thanks. What's up?
Like, what is it? Plus a minute 6 on your PB with a 2-floor hair fall. Like, that's got to feel pretty good, especially in a race situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't think I'd be able to make it through that well. Especially since I got like Misery Maya gold and Swamp, a really good Swamp Palace gold in my splits.
Nice.
So I'm really happy I was able to still get a sub 127. Surprised relkin. I had also some trouble. I guess this race was like rather who sucked less, and then, you know, that's the one who wins.
Yeah, well, we're racing NMG. It often turns into who makes the less major mistakes. Yeah, it was super close because relkin. Were you watching the stream?
Oh no, I was trying to like really close everything and just like focus entirely on my gameplay.
Yeah, so what happened was relkin actually died in Escape.
Okay.
And then after your hair fall, those two things kind of even themselves out. And then you guys got to Aga, and you got 3 blue balls, and relkin got 7. And
Boy.
then kind of throughout the Dark World, he gained a little bit of ground up towards the end game, but he also had some issues in Mire, which kind of widened the gap a little bit. And he took a weird... Something weird happened to him getting his tower. I didn't quite see it, but I saw some reaction to the chat. I gotta take a look at what happened to him in the pre-Ice Armors room, and that was just kind of the difference between the two of you. But like, both of you had your issues, but like I saw like pretty strong mid game, mid to late game on your side, really strong mid game on his side. So we got to see a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys for commentary. I'm looking forward to watch the VOD.
Yeah, so that's going to put you at 1-0. So you're going to have to face one of these other 1-0 crushers. And so how are you feeling about that?
I'm sorry, who am I facing?
We don't know yet, but it's somebody who won their first week.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
like
an Airy, a Fox, a Doomtap.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blast. I mean, I was sort of gambling that there was still somebody pulling off a PB and pushing me out of the top 16, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So now I'm getting bashed like quite a lot, and you know, even better that I at least like won this one race. I think after this I'm probably gonna get bashed big time, but you know, like it's NMG, you can always die to Cold Stare, and you know, if Airy dies to Cold Stare, you might even beat him. So who knows? It's gonna be fun.
It's kind of nice being one of the lower seeds because there's no pressure, right? You just kind of go out and do your best, and you know, just you can really go for it, right? You're not playing safe. You're racing faster runners. You really just got to go all out, and sometimes that's the most freeing thing in an NMG race.
Yeah, you know, I'm like I always try to play as consistent as possible, so that's sort of my deal. I think if I would have to race Airy, I still would try to like not pull any risky crap. Just to like, you know, play a solid game, hope for like a decent 125-ish pace. You know, that's sort of my skill right now. You know, the pretty much best I can do. I think my sum of best is a 123.58. So you know, like, and I'm not looking forward to like improve that much. So you know, if I can get a 125 in a race, that would be freaking awesome. A solid 126 is also okay. So you know, that's pretty much what I'm going for, and you know, if that's enough to win some races, then I'm happy. If not, that's also fine for me.
Yeah, nice. Well, looks like we also have relkin joining us. GG's relkin.
Yeah, GG's relkin.
I mean, I don't deserve them, but thanks.
There was some good stuff in this round.
I was gonna say, like, you had a gold ice, right?
Golden donuts.
Yeah,
I mean, the gold is a gold. You're never gonna argue with that.
that was a hot thieves down too. That would have been like a 703 if not for the missed pot hammer dash. That was pretty sick.
Dude, I was just so mad when I died in Escape. Like, I
Yeah.
played it safe before Ball and Chain, but then decided not to in the back, and then I paid the price heavily.
You had some mean RNG, right? You had aggros on both that left side hellway, and dude, nobody saw that snake. I didn't see that snake. Like, I don't think anybody's still seen that snake. That was very mean.
Yeah, that really sucks. Like dying
Yeah.
so early in the run pretty much kills your motivation all the way. So surprised to see that you recovered so well.
Well, it helped that you fell at the big chest, so...
I guess, is that your normal setup, Bamboo? Like, in order to get over to the Hera big chest?
Yes, actually yes, but I was just playing way too risky. Usually I do like the turn there, and then I got like a visual cue on the tiles for the floor. So if I know when I have to do the dash to the side and when not. So like, you know, usually I don't go up that far, but for whatever reason I went up way too far. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, I guess it's sort of risky, but you know, if you do it that way, it usually works. Like I don't know when was the last time that I fell down. It must have been really a long time. So
If there's a first time for everything, or at least in recent, and they always seem to be showcased, right? When you're racing somebody.
yeah, I don't know. Just like maybe after my bad landmos, I was feeling I should play TOH a little ballsy, but yeah, paid the price. Yeah.
Yeah, both of you had pretty mean landmo patterns as well. I saw Bamboo, that last guy that went up on you, that took away your, I think it would have been a 4 cycle, was pretty mean.
Oh yeah, even Landmo too. Like Landmo sucked big time this race for me.
And Relkin, your GT, what happened in the pre-ice
Dude,
room?
I don't know what happened at all. Just I
need
don't even talk about it.
I need a clip of that. That was. But good on you for surviving, getting down to 1.5 hours pre-Lamo and sticking that out. That's it takes some real composure on your side.
I'm just really upset at how you survive GT with 12 hearts. That is like that is beyond me. How you get out of GT with 12 hearts. That is impossible for me.
Really?
Yes, that is impossible for me. I hate GT so much.
Yeah, like GT actually has been something. If I was practicing A Link to the Past, like the last 2 to 3 months, you know, like if there was like a small window where I could do some practice, then I was practicing GT, so it was working out really, really well. Well, Lamo 2 sucked big time for me, but the rest was pretty solid, mostly. So, and yeah, I guess I only lost the hearts from the spikes, and I didn't get hit much. So yeah, that's how you end up with 12 hearts for whatever reason.
Yeah, you had a really nice gauntlet. Didn't get hit in this case in GPC either, right? And yeah, basically, I think you just kind of sailed through in this case.
Oh yeah, my RNG was awesome. I only missed.
Oh,
up
must
that
be
one.
nice.
Yeah, it's like that's really the thing, you know, like that's where the really great runners in this game can shine. So they just like handle all these different RNG patterns so well that you always think, okay, they get like good RNG, but it's just like their way of handling the RNG patterns well, which makes it, you know, look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a really nice performance, especially if you mentioned like you haven't really been, I guess, like too active. But really, basically really great to see. For basically within a minute, right, of your PB and falling 2 floors in Hera. It's quite good.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I was like, oh dude, this is gonna suck big time. So yeah, I'm glad I sort of put myself together again and went through with it.
No, really great. I guess like I don't know if you have any plans, I guess, on watching anymore, like streams, like watching your opponent for next week or any subsequent weeks, or you just basically kind of prefer to like just play your game.
Like I mean, I would prefer to get someone from the lower top 16 folks, you know. Maybe like also a 125 runner if there was like somebody else, just someone who, you know, maybe also like me accidentally won his first race. So it's like somewhat even. Yeah, that's what I would prefer.
I see Sirius and Fox in chat, so if you have any bribes that you're willing to give up, certainly they are there for you.
Yeah, I'm F5 in this challenge. It looks like we don't quite have the matchup yet, but I will be eagerly awaiting to see who both of you guys face and who everybody else faces next week.
Yeah, this was a really great race to watch, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, any other thoughts, I think, before we kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, just thanks relkin for the race, and sorry for the back and forth with the scheduling. Glad it worked out, and yeah, thanks FeesR and you guys for commentary. Always great.
Pleasure was certainly not, all ours in my opinion. Matt, thank you so much for commentating. This was awesome. Really looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a few more of these in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, Trez, you want to see us out of here?
Sure, y'all made my job really easy. I hope y'all enjoyed what you saw. GG's to both Bamboo and relkin. I know it's hard to lose a race like that, so no blaming to relkin for not being in the best mood right now. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. Shoutouts to Claimers and also to Matt for doing the commentary. GG Bamboo and GG audience, and see you all very soon for the next NMG race, which is definitely gonna be probably tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe on Monday. See you soon.